Temple Talk at Home. This week's reading is called Adam's Calling 2.0 by Skye Jethani. After God ordered the world from primordial chaos, made his temple, appointed humans as his representatives and priests, and declared all of it good, the book of Genesis is a steady descent back toward chaos. Humans reject their priestly vocation and are exiled from the garden temple, and their evil spreads to corrupt the whole world. This trajectory away from God in Eden is symbolized in the first 11 chapters of Genesis by the repeated movement of people eastward. But a dramatic change happens in Genesis 12. For the first time in the story, someone moves west. Yahweh calls Abram to leave his father's house and people in the east and go to the land of Canaan in the west. This change of direction is more than geographical, it's spiritual. It represents God's first step toward restoring humanity's vocation to be his representatives and priests on the earth, and repairing the world as his dwelling place and temple. In a way, the original call Yahweh had given to Adam and Eve, he now gives to Abraham and his wife Sarah. For example, beyond calling them back from the east, a symbolic move in Genesis toward Eden and God's presence, the Lord promises to make Abraham and Sarah fruitful and to multiply their descendants, so that they bless the whole earth. This is an echo of Genesis 1, when God blessed the man and woman to be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. We also see Abraham take up Adam's priestly functions. Remember, a priest serves as a mediator or bridge between others and God. Yahweh says that through Abraham and his descendants, he will bless all the nations. In other words, they will be a priesthood to mediate God's presence to the world. This helps us explain why we see Abraham, as well as his son Isaac and grandson Jacob, repeatedly meeting with God and worshiping him on mountains. These high places, like Eden, serve as temples. For example, in Genesis 12, after receiving his calling, leaving his homeland, and traveling to Canaan, Yahweh appeared to Abraham, and his first response was to build an altar and call upon the name of Yahweh in a place called Bethel, which means house of God, a synonym for temple. The building of altars to the Lord in high places continues throughout Genesis. Remember, Adam and his descendants were never intended to remain in Eden. They were to expand the garden temple to fill the earth. This vocation, like the call to be fruitful and multiply, was also transferred to Abraham and his descendants. Their mountaintop altar functions as a mini temple, small replicas of Eden dotting the earth. Here's the point. While Genesis shows humanity's failure in its vocation and exile from the garden's temple, God has not given up on us and has not abandoned his world. Through Abraham, he began the redeeming work of restoring our priestly purpose to represent God to the world, and we see the first glimpse of his mission to make the whole world his dwelling place once again.